we move on to the next session, which is our panel session, panel number 2, on revolutionizing dairy farming, the impact of technology and automation. And without taking further time of yours, I would like to call on stage the honorable panel members in the order of the sequence. Joining us first, Mr. Shyamal Roy, Practice Head, QA&PD from Paayas Milk Producer Company. A big round of applause to Shyamal ji. Welcome to the stage once again, sir. Please have your seat. Joining him next is Mohana Kumar Rathuri, Head Quality Assurance from Dodla Dairy. A big round of applause to Mr. Rathuri. Welcome to the panel, sir. Please have your seat. Joining next, we have Mr. Sanjay Pandey, General Manager, Quality Assurance and R&D. Mr. Sanjay Pandey would be joining in from SP Foods and Nutrition Consultants. A big round of applause to Sanjay ji. Welcome to the panel, sir. Sanjay ji, welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. Joining next, we have Mr. Tirumal Reddy, General Manager Operations from ARVIND Dairy. A big round of applause to Mr. Reddy. Welcome to the panel, sir. Please have your seat. Joining next, Mr. Prateek Kumar, Chief General Manager and Head of Operations from 𝐑𝐞𝐯𝐫 Mehsana Dairy. A big round of applause to Mr. Kumar. Welcome to the panel, sir. Please have your seat. And joining next, we have Mr. Anil Bhutani, Business Head, Third Party from Ananda Dairy. A big round of applause to Anil ji. Welcome to the panel, Anil ji. Delighted to have you. Please have your seat. So Sanjay ji, all over to you, and looking forward to a great session.
Thank you, Synex team. Sound is clear, it is audible, everybody can hear me. So, first of all, I will like to welcome you to this discussion. It's a wonderful topic. And we are going to talk about automation, robotics, then artificial intelligence, and it is broadly captured under the subject Dairy 4.0. To give you some overview about how I see the subject and how do I want to build the context about this topic. When we look at the development of the civilization, mankind has ever built tools and machines. And initially, these were limited to satiating the hunger, defending himself from the predators, and things like that. But ever since the wheel is invented and the kind of wheel became the wheel of development, it's a vehicle of development, and from there technology has kept on moving from machine and tools to the current era, the current time. We hear the words like machine learning. As I told that initially it was for the basic needs, and I like the word that we have named it machine learning, that it is something which is intriguing subject, which is still we are so connected and we are giving it a name of learning. We are in the process of learning. This shows our interest that what kind of importance and value we are putting in towards automation, towards all these digitalization, artificial intelligence, and this word itself is like whatever the intelligence and the skills and the knowledge we have garnered, but still it's a kind of add-on. We are still trying to add on more intelligence, even if artificially, to whatever we are. So, we are going to discuss this typically in the context of the dairy industry, and we have a very esteemed panel here. Each of them are bringing a lot of experience, practical insights we'll be able to have from this session. I start with introduction first, little bit starting with Shyamal ji. 1 minute before starting, I suddenly jumped into the seat of the moderator. Mr. Veem from Prague Dairy was supposed to be here, but the topic is very interesting, very powerful. We will talk about this in the context of dairy.
Good morning. Myself, Shyamal Kumar Roy. I'm basically dairy technologist and master degree from NDRI. So I'm in the industry for last 25 years. Work with Amul, Britannia, Godrej, NDDB, and presently posted at Paayas Milk Producer Organization, which is established by NDDB 12-13 years back. I worked in the field of like manufacturing, quality, R&D projects, and some sort of procurement system for the dairy industry. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Synex Group, for giving us this opportunity to talk on a very emerging and interesting topic. Myself, I am Mohan. I come with approximately 25 years of experience as a dairy technologist. So my current organization is Dodla Dairy in Hyderabad as a quality head. Previously, I was working with GSK and then subsequently with Amway, and then that is there. And my core experience is in the production, automation, process design, optimization, and digitalization across the organizations which I have worked. Thank you.
So, I am Sanjay Pandey, dairy technologist, and started my career with Banas Dairy, which is Asia's largest dairy. And then after I was associated with powder and cheese plant of Vadilal, which was then being commissioned in Nasik. After that, I joined Nestle. I worked there for about 12 years and in various capacities and roles. So I did my stints in Sri Lanka, USA, France, Germany. After that, I was also part of Alana Group for some time. And most interestingly, I served as head of technical for Diageo, alcoholic beverage company. Now again, I headed technical and quality and R&D for Banas Dairy, once again for more than 5 years. So in short, mostly in food and beverage industry, in technical capacity, that is my domain, that is my expertise.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am T.T. Reddy, a dairy technologist, and served the dairy industry for the last 41 years. I started my career in 1983 as a management trainee in UP Cooperative Dairy, that is called PCDF. After serving the PCDF for almost 20 years, I have taken a choice to serve the private industry. I joined Ananda Dairy and worked there for almost 2 years. Then I also worked with Paayas Dairy for 4 years. Then after serving around 6 years in the private industry, I went back to my parent organization, PCDF, and after retirement in the 2020, I had taken up a new assignment to set up a dairy plant for ARVIND Dairy. The brand is 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐶. Now I am looking after the 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐶 as the General Manager Operations and Development. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. My name is Prateek Kumar. 30 years of experience with Amul family. Starting 18 years with GCMMF as new product development and project head. And since last 10 years working with Mehsana Dairy as Chief General Manager Operations. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Myself, Anil Bhutani. I basically started my career with Nestle India. Then within Nestle India, I was a part of Nestle South Africa, then Nestle Australia, then back to India. Then I was a part of Reliance Retail Business Startup for 4-5 years. Then I was a part of Mother Dairy Delhi operations. Then within Delhi operations, I was a head of all India third party expansion head for Mother Dairy for dairy and dairy products. Then I was moved to Bombay operations, and for 4-5 years I was in the Bombay operations to lead the Bombay operations of Mother Dairy Delhi. Then I completed my inning in the job, and the next day I got a private offers also, and now I am a part of Ananda Dairy. I am based in Noida corporate office, and I am looking after all new dairy and non-dairy products startup through third parties. You know, I am basically a dairy technologist, but I am a now technical commercial person. So look for the cost, which is very important in the business nowadays, and the way things are getting tighter and tighter in business. So, and having a lot of experience in the costing as well as how to set right the costing. So I work now for a private company. But I started my career with MNC, then private limited, then private company, and you know, that's what my experience is. And any things, you know, regarding dairy farmings, I have got a good opportunity to work in Australia and South Africa, to work in dairy farms also. And now India is also changing. Like in Ananda, we also have a dairy farms, which is a topic we are starting, and in the discussion, I'll be sharing, you know, my knowledge, and definitely I'll be asking a number of questions from audience also, what they think about it. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anil ji. In the interest of the time, I will start with questions straight now with Prateek ji. Prateek ji, may I request you to set the tone for the Dairy 4.0. Of course, 4.0, dairy and IQ are the kind of buzzwords, and I can see the large organizations, they are already hiring positions like AI engineers or technology specialists to foster this cause. So could you please give the overview that what it is, typically in the context of the dairy, what are the different versions, and what kinds of benefits, challenges, so that the tone for the discussion is set.
Thank you, sir. On the topic of Dairy 4.0, the key features is already been implemented since, see, Dairy 4.0, they call it since 2011, when the all digitalization and automation came in, people start using it IoT, so Dairy 4.0 is called. The key factor of Dairy 4.0 are digitalization and connectivity based on IoT and real-time sensor for real-time data. Then you have data-driven decision making. You have the use of data analytics for data, and then automation and robotics. Robots and automation are used for milking and for feed. You have sustainability focus also. You use many of the environmental friendly techniques for implementation for that. And then traceability and transparency has increased a lot because of the blockchain. You know, from farm to fork, you know the traceability. And the final one is the enhancement of the animal welfare because of the real-time data available and the predictive analytics. In advance, people come to know that.
So maybe you can little bit like different phases, the different versions and all.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And I'll do it fast. So that is one. And the technology which drives 4.0 is, one is IoT, AI, machine learning, robotics, then blockchain, big data analytics, then precision farming tools, and cloud computing. The different version of Dairy 1.0, it way back started from it, the era is called, that is a manual era, which started from 1790 until 1870. It is called the manual and traditional era, where the farming was entirely manual, relying on human labor, small scale, subsistence oriented, minimal technology input. While 2.0 is the era from 1870 till 1969. That's the era where it is called a mechanization era, where the farm started building, the introduction of machinery came in, but it still, the advancement of veterinary also came in, but it is early focus on breeding. While the era of 3.0, which is from 1969 to 2010, it is actually an industrial era and automation, where automation comes in and people have big farms. You have automatic milk collection station. Then you have the introduction of bulk chilling units and bulk tanks had come in. Your data is an automatic being recorded. And then finally, the Dairy 4.0 came in, where it is 2011, which is totally digitalization. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, 𝐸𝐞𝐯. With this, I move on to Sri Mohanji. Mohanji, now we have got some overview of AI and Dairy 4.0. Could you please throw some light on the benefits of the robotics typically? That also more on the farming level, because I and most of us would agree that ingredients are very crucial to any kind of food, not only dairy. So, and also that how do you see the road ahead, the sustainability in the long term? So starting from the benefit of mechanization, robotics, and the whole progress of this system.
So, as Mr. Pratik has mentioned, if you see, Industry 4.0 is, in a simple terms, it's like, it's a next level of automation, what we call as intelligent automation, where there is a lot of cognitive thinking, which is actually driving the way things are actually performed. So these IoT, AI, robotics, these are some of the enablers or components of this particular Industrial Revolution 4.0. So when it comes to robotics, especially in the dairy industry, some of the areas where there are opportunities, as well as in India still, it is still in its infancy, one of the area is at the farm level, and some more at the plant level. Basically, what the robotics does is it actually helps in performing the routine tasks which are repetitive in nature. So, for example, if you take at the farm level, mostly the milking process is one area where the automated milking machines actually eliminate the need of the human strain a lot, and they actually freeze up. So what does these things give us as a benefit is they give us, the farmer, the time to think about how can he do good to the animal. So this is a way of contributing to the dairy industry. Another area where at the farm level, the benefits, there are opportunities are in the way the feeding systems are tailored. So what happens is there are examples of where the accelerometers are actually attached to the jaws of the cows, wherein the rumination time is something which is automatically measured, and then the feeding cycles, the milking cycles, etc. are actually planned. And there is also another advantage or another area where it can be applied at the farm level is in the animal health monitoring systems. So there are a lot of sensors which are actually coming up, which can monitor the body controls, how the cow is actually behaving, its interaction within the group, as well as the gate. These things are all monitored, and finally they are actually kind of programmed to give an output to design the actual, what is the condition of the animal, and is there any early intervention for the veterinarian. So these kind of signals are also being tracked. This is one area of application where it can be very, very beneficial to the farm level. And another area is about the breeding cycles. So there are analyzers which the IoT devices which actually measure the physiological changes, the behaviors of the cows, and which can actually give estimate the best fertile period, the window, which actually helps in planning the breedings and the insemination cycles, and which actually helps for overall quality of the herd as well as overall benefits of the dairy industry.
Great.
So this is about the farm level.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, and the other question is about sustainability, right? Yeah. Yeah. So coming on to the sustainability, if you see dairy industry as such, the contribution in sustainability is mainly from the dairy farm level and very less at the processing plants level. Of course, there is some amount which is the greenhouse gases which are getting generated at the plant level, but mostly they are generated in the farm level. So approximately for every 1 kg of milk that is produced, currently about 1 kg of carbon dioxide is something which is actually getting released, which is quite less compared to what India was doing about 30-40 years back. But still, it is a significant contribution. And we are all aware that as a country, India has taken a target to go green and achieve this net zero target by the year 2070. So in this way, if we see the main contribution from dairy industry for greenhouse gases effects or the sustainability comes mainly at the time of, at the farm level. And the main source of this gas is the enteric fermentation, which actually happens in the human. So that is the area where the industry 4.0 opportunities can be applied at farm level, where like the automated feeding systems, the right proportion of diet, the right ratio of proteins, carbs, and fats, the mix can be tailored to the need of the individual cows based on its behavior, based on its physical health. So these are the things where it can help. So if I put it's in the short term, it is the health monitoring systems which will contribute to sustainability.
Now I move on to Shyamalji. So you can throw some light on the deployment of these techniques and technology, typically the automation and the IoT and the complete 4.0 stuff, to optimize the things in the production domain of the dairies.
Thank you, Sanjay ji.
Or rationalize or better use to harness the capabilities.
Yes. See, as an industry, we are in industry. Today's requirements are like we have to give the quality products to our consumer. And in industry, we have to give the maximum productivity with the costing, quality, everything we have to see. When you talk about the quality and cost of production and costing, everything, so only the options are available like automation, technologies. We have to use the technologies. September 24, Ministry of Cooperation has announced for the Sheth Kranti 2.0. Might be you have read in newspaper or news channels and all. So there, one of the target was like, as in India, we are the #1 in milk production, but as a whole, we can't export our product. So when we think about the exporting our product, where we stuck? The quality. So only few % of our production we can export nowadays. Okay? So we have to bring the quality. And when we talk about the quality, so quality and the traceability. And quality and traceability will come from where we have to start? From the animal. So the technology has to deploy it at the farm level or at the farmer level where the, like our cows or buffaloes are maintained. Without deploying the technology from the grassroots level, it is very difficult to to maintain the traceability of our product as well as to maintain the quality. Say like IoT. IoT, you mostly people are nowadays, it's a very common thing that the smart equipment which can directly communicate, it can take the data, information during the production or processing time, and it can communicate or share the data to any other location at the system device where we, like if you go like Tetra Pak and all, they are giving nowadays the packaging machine and the manufacturing equipments that can, whatever the data they are collecting like maintenance, your operation time, your process parameters, everything it's record itself, and whenever they need, that can be directly, even the Tetra Pak team is sitting somewhere else, they can see and they can diagnose what is the problem and all with your equipments. Yeah. So these are the technologies are available, smart technologies. See, when we talk about the automation, there are n number of automations might be available, like mechanical automation, sensor-based automation, computerized automation. So there are different type of automation based on the requirements, based on the availability or based on the capability of the, and obviously budgets is another thing. So looking on our motto to maintain what, what is the target?
Yeah, I cannot agree more, like you told, that collection of the real-time data, because many times I recall that we used to conduct certain trials, experiments, and based on experiments we used to collect data and form our judgments and decisions. But in this era of the real-time data, which is being captured through tools and kind of ready analysis just at a click.
Yes.
And if you can Spotify the questions right, like we can ask the question right, whatever the Excel tables and everything you can attach directly to the apps or the programs, and then they give you all the expert information, the gist of the whole thing which you want to know about the subject.
Yeah.
Like just to give Microsoft 365, a Copilot app, if you have seen, if you want to analyze your consumer complaints, for example, if you want to see which supplier is performing, you just attach your data. This is just an example of what Mr. Shyamal is trying to say. You can probably wrap up.
Yeah. So not only that, not only Excel, nowadays the automations are available. You have the videos, you have some photographs. So that can also, that automation can extract the data or information from that videos, and it will give you the information of what to do. So that kind of automation levels are available nowadays.
Yeah. Thank you. Now I move on to Tirumalji. Mr. Tirumal has a vast experience and he has worked on various domains, and probably in the area of automation, robotics, etc. He has been commissioning and he has been delivering several projects over the period of time. So I would leave it to him to speak from his insight, whatever he has done all these years, typically in the context of robotics and artificial intelligence part.
Thanks, Mr. Sanjay. Speaking about the automation, so we have to start with the basic system we used to apply in the dairy industry during the 60s or 70s. So dairy industry was a very, very old industry which was started in almost 60s worldwide and in India also. So the system which they used to apply was manual. Then it started from manual to mechanization in 80s and 90s. Then the mechanization to automation. That was started in 90s to 2000. Then comes the robotics. Robotics started in 2011 and that is going on. Now it is the AI which entered the industry. So I have seen all the transformations which were taken place in the dairy industry. I started my career in a manual working system. So with an opportunity to start a new dairy plant, we applied some mechanization and slight automation, that is called semi-automation. Then the actual automation system started in 1998 when I was working with Parag Dairy in Noida. That was the first completely automatic dairy plant which was started. So the application of the automation really makes you very profitable and to provide the assurance to your product. So I will give an example. If you are running a pasteurizer, if you run it on manual mode, you may be processing the milk, but you cannot control the cost as well as the quality. Like if there is a deviation of 1 degree centigrade in the processing, so you will be losing 10 kg steam per each degree centigrade. In the same way, if there is any deviation in manual plant, definitely you will lose the quality and it will lead to you the losses as well as the reworking and also the food safety problem, a threat for the food safety. So why I was emphasizing this, in this competitive world, as said by Mr. Mohanji, we are making the automations at farm level. We have to use the automation at the processing level, CIP level, and storage level, and in the transportation and logistics to see our product is safe to reach the plate of the consumer. Then only we can export.
Yeah, Mr. Tirumal talked about the losses, optimization and all these aspects. And at this point, I think Mr. Bhutani is also here. And he is head of third-party operations with Ananda Group. Carries a lot of experience with him, which we have already heard. I would, in the interest of time, and that's the reason I'm cutting you a little bit. Could you please tell us something about the role AI and all this automation, etc., can play for optimizing the commercial aspects of the dairy business?
You know, I just share my personal experience. I don't know how many people have seen the dairy farm in real working, maybe on a television or somewhere you might have seen, but if I don't know how many audience have seen the real dairy farms. I have seen in 1990, and I got posted in, in one of the South African dairy farms for a 1 week to work. as a worker. And that was a, very good learning for me. One husband and wife were only operating that dairy farm with a 500 cows. And I was so amazed to see, that in 1990s, they whistle and the cows come and they have a spray bath and they line up and then they milk it, and that was a SCADA based. And they have a tag system everywhere, and the milk which is coming, I was amazed to see the SPC count was 25,000, when tanker is being filled. While I was a part of Nestle India, here the milk which is coming in a Punjab industry is more than 50 lakhs. And MBRT time is 20 minutes or 30 minutes, while their MBRT time was more than 2 hours. So I have myself worked and seen, ultimately the automation long back, almost 20-25 years. And, how they achieve, and now India on that time was very, very way behind. Even I still feel India is still 20 years behind. I have seen Govardhan Milk dairy farms, I have seen Ananda dairy farms, I have seen a lot of dairy farms in Punjab, I have seen economics also of dairy farms. And ultimately there are three objectives mainly of dairy farms, to get a good raw milk quality at a right cost. And the good raw milk quality is SPC, alcohol and MBRT. These are the three measurable yardsticks, basic yardsticks in the dairy industry, where the milk can be processed further.
Good.
And just to add one thing more, which we are not touching a topic of antibiotics in milk. While in dairy farms and everything, I have seen, even antibiotics was being monitored month-wise, season-wise, while in India, we are still way behind in antibiotics. We do it as a government requirement, but not religiously and not because of economical reasons also. So that's another thing, and now India is also catching up. Good dairy farms are coming, but they are struggling to survive because of economics. The milk which is coming out from the farm, I found it's very costly, and it's very difficult to use that costly milk and to compete in the open market with the big brands.
Yeah.
So, either if you are producing a costly milk, use it in a costly products. And especially special products where, the things, the ROI can come. So that is what practically I have seen. I am sharing my personal experience. And what Mr. Pandey want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to add on that. When you talked about antibiotics and all, it made me think. I personally believe so, and I also would like to convince others that quality of milk, because you touched upon antibiotics, quality, and lot of things is already discussed in this panel. I tend to believe that quality of milk is largely irreversible, because even if we try to rework it, even if we are trying to add some flavors, we want to formulate recipes, but there is no substitute to the initial quality of ingredients, be it any food products. And milk being the most perishable one, it is of paramount importance. Like we say that the quality of milk, the very last moment, is not same in the next moment itself. Of course, with all this technology and advancements, we have been able to achieve quality like very quickly, because I also wanted to add certain things to the benefit of this panel and to the people. But looking at the time, I wanted to say a few things. Where is milk coming from? Source of milk is milk animals. Quality starts from there. And if you go back before that also, where is the health coming from? Health is coming from what we eat, what we drink, the kind of drugs and medicines, kind of environment, atmosphere we are living in. So, if the quality of milk has to be monitored, and I already told the initial milk quality is of that much importance, it is paramount. There is no alternate, no substitute to the initial milk quality. It starts with the health of the animals. And for example, suppose they are suffering from brucella, they are suffering from mastitis. And nowadays we have practical tools, and that is enabled by AI and new generation techniques, like you can put digital collars and all, know the temperature of the cow, what cow is eating, what kind of movements are there, how it's health, whether it is stress, she's in stress, the heat cycles, everything can be monitored through that. And if you just control the mastitis, for example, what is the need for the drugs? Antibiotics, ethnovat and all such things we are talking about. Sometimes we set wrong KPIs. That is what we believe. Not that we are having all these flow lateral chromatography, LCMS, gas chromatographies, spectrophotometers, atomic and this, that, blah, blah. So many technologies, ELISA, Suppose we have, I am talking in the context of just antibiotics, one subject I wanted to touch upon. And this is very important because we say that it is unintentional, they are contaminants. But anything which we are so aware of, we have become so knowledgeable, still we are doing very little to control it. It is not unconscious. It is about our willpower, our attitude, how we look at these kind of things. We know that aflatoxins are coming. If the north of India, for example, north of India, if we try to find one single brand, and typically that also after the onset of the monsoons until the end of February, we'll hardly find a brand, however the big names are.
But I will like to, Pandey, add one thing. We are living in such a country where air is polluted, water is polluted, food is polluted.
Yes, of course. Our conditions are different.
And the population is increasing.
Yeah. So
now you can see what is at the bottom line.
Yes. So it was a very good subject, and probably you could have talked about the challenges and difficulties. You are talking about difficulties in implementing this. And this is another big domain which we must have covered.
Even I learned in my previous organization, even our vegetables are polluted.
Yeah.
Fruits are polluted.
Yeah.
And still we are eating it thanks to us.
Thanks
to our immunity.
Yeah. So Bhutani, I just wanted to add to that. One is our willingness, our desire, our management commitment, because I feel personally there is no dearth of information. Even if you go on the Google, you find so much of information. Knowledge should be seen in terms of our willpower and willingness to apply and implement those things. That is how we should see the knowledge in the true sense. And that also typically when we want to improve the practices and quality, and we want to raise the bar of the dairy industry. And that is where these artificial intelligence, all machine learnings, all these new techniques are going to raise the bar. It is eventually, the question is about the survival of the fittest. So technology is definitely going to play a very disruptive role. It is never going to be a very level play field like the past. It is going to be very different from what it was before. And whosoever who are more abreast of the technology, the new techniques, the kind of automation, the robotics, like the placement, exactly finding where the stock is kept. At a click, you have all the necessary information about the issues, about the root causes. We saw certain presentations where people have demonstrated you have the root cause, you have the complete history or the life cycle of the happenings happening there, and therefrom you can prioritize and you can do the things in much better way. So to summarize, I would say that we have touched upon certain things. It is it is like just starting the topic and we couldn't finish it in the time. But before I wrap up, I give one moment to Pratik very quickly, probably 2-3 lines. I will not speak again because time is already 2-3 lines about the challenges and difficulties. We didn't talk about that. Why we are not doing it? We have a desire to do it, but we are not doing it.
Thank you, sir. I was just waiting for it.
Don't want to do it.
No, no. See, on a personal experience for last 30 years and last 10 years in implementing the automation and IoT-based devices in our system, there are few challenges. Just 1 minute. One is the initial investment cost is very high. When you talk about the transparency and the traceability, which is the most important part of Dairy 4.0, where from due to blockchain, from farm to fork, we have a traceability of the product. For that, we need to implement the Dairy 4.0 has to go back to the start from the farm. It is already in dairy, but it has to start from farm. At the farm level, there are few 3-4 points which we have to touch upon. And one is the initial investment is very high. We need that investment. Second, technical know-how. The person who's actually using it at the farm level has to be technically sound to use that. The amount of data which is being generated by the IoT and the sensor has to be accounted for and has to be analyzed. One of the issue we had very, very serious is the e-waste is going to generate. One, it is given, everything has a life. After 10 years, our farm will be mechanized. So when you have to dispose it, the e-waste has to be generated. And third is resistance to change. That's the last one. The farmer level, people don't want to change also. Thank you.
I also wanted to say one thing, one excellent example of the digital dairy, so-called digital dairy I have seen typically in India is Kera Union of Anand. You see the kind of detailing and the data, the real-time data, and you try to capture it. For example, the farm-related practices. You just go on drilling down, and it will give you the details in this particular zone. This is the fat percentage. That is the mastitis or whatever the region it has fallen down. You rush the team of doctors there. Doctors are taking due care. What kinds of medicines they have given. You know how long it took to treat the animal. So this is just a glimpse, and this can be done in any domain of the dairy production, dairy manufacturing. I would not take much of your time. Our time is finished, done. I thank you very much for joining us. The panel might be willing to say many things. We couldn't manage the time so well, I would say, or probably we wanted to talk. We wanted to talk our insights and hearts.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sanjay ji. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for this wonderful panel session here on revolutionizing dairy farming, the impact of technology and automation. I would now quickly like to call on stage Mr. Hemant Giri, Marketing Manager, Food Safety and Quality Industrial Applications from 𝐵ioMeru, to kindly do the honors of felicitating this wonderful panel of experts here. Hemant, welcome to the stage. We'll start first with Mr. Shyamal Roy, Practice Head, QA&PD from Paayas Milk Producer Company. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Shyamal Roy for his wonderful contribution in the panel. Thank you so much, Shyamal ji. Moving next to Mr. Mohana Kumar Raturi, Head Quality Assurance from Dodla Dairy. A big round of applause to Mr. Raturi for his wonderful contribution in the panel. Moving next to our honorable panel moderator, Mr. Sanjay Pandey from SP Food and Nutrition Consultants for wonderfully moderating the panel session. Thank you so much, Sanjay ji. Moving next to Mr. Tirumal Reddy from ARVIND Dairy, GM Operations from ARVIND Dairy. A big round of applause to Mr. Reddy for his wonderful contribution in the panel. Moving next to Mr. Prateek Kumar, Chief General Manager and Head of Operations from Dudhsagar Mehsana Dairy. A big round of applause to Prateek Kumar ji for his wonderful contribution in the panel. And now Mr. Anil Bhutani ji, Business Head, Third Party from Ananda Dairy. A big round of applause to Mr. Bhutani for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. Thank you, Anil ji, for your contribution in the panel. I now request all the panel members to kindly step forward for a group photograph. And Hemant, if you could also join them.